No matter how enlightened or loving we all possess a dark side, our shadow side. But many people who are on their spiritual path tend to ignore their shadow side. They want to pretend it doesn't exist. Doing so is a huge disservice to yourself because when you confront your shadow and you do your shadow work, it helps you on your path towards spiritual maturity. In this video, I'm going to explain what your shadow side is, why it's important to do your shadow work, and how to do it. Hello, I'm Wendy Rapp, spiritual life coach and intuitive reader. On this channel, I help you as a spiritually awakened person grow and evolve on your soul's journey. And if you enjoy material like this, hit the subscribe button because I upload a new video every Sunday. What is the shadow side? Well, the shadow is a psychological term that is used to describe the dark parts of our personality. Those are the parts that our ego doesn't want to see or acknowledge. The parts of ourselves that feel inferior, bad, and unacceptable. Our shadow side is where we try to hide and suppress our primitive and negative emotions and impulses. Emotions and impulses like greed, hatred, anger, envy, selfishness. Shadow work is when we consciously bring forward those aspects of ourselves that remain hidden or buried or ignored, and we bring them forward so that we can analyze them and acknowledge them and heal them. When we do our shadow work, we're owning our flaws, and it's a tremendous opportunity for personal growth. So why do we repress the shadow side? Well, basically because we've been taught to do so from birth. Ever since we were born, we've been taught that traits like greed, anger, hatred, envy are unacceptable, and perhaps in your own family you were even punished for exhibiting those traits. Then we also grew up and went out into society and learned that society is not so fond of those traits either. So because we have a basic need for survival and to be accepted, we've learned that the traits that are bad equal rejection. The traits that are good, like love and kindness, equal acceptance. So we've learned to suppress the traits that will cause rejection from others and emphasize only those loving qualities within us. But what happens if you don't do your shadow work? Well, the shadow is always on autopilot. Those traits do not just disappear and go away because you choose to ignore them. What will happen is those traits will show up in seep into your life in a way that will disrupt your life, disrupt relationships. It can become passive-aggressive behavior, and that can lead to rejection from others. So the very thing you're trying to reject will make sure that it rears its head and will create those problems for you that you're trying to avoid. So what are the benefits of doing your shadow work? Well, when you learn to accept your flaws and see those traits that you don't like about yourself and work on them, then it becomes easier for you when you see those same traits in others. That will help to improve relationships with them. And also remember, if there are people who trigger you, if there's something they're doing that just gets on your last nerve, it's usually something that the universe is showing you you need to work on within yourself. That sort of triggering will occur less often when you do your shadow work. And another great benefit of doing your shadow work is it helps you to become more authentic. When you integrate your shadow side, it helps to raise your self-awareness, and it helps to keep you in a more balanced state of mind. It keeps you from becoming overinflated with your ego, but it also keeps you from becoming deflated as well. It also helps you to have greater compassion and understanding toward others when you see those qualities within them. And doing your shadow work has another great benefit. It also helps to enhance your energy and emotional well-being. All the time and energy it takes for us to try to suppress that side of us that we don't like, or the qualities and the traits we don't like, instead of facing them and doing the work, takes a lot of energy. And when you do your work and you integrate and you face and work through whatever those issues are, it opens up a reservoir of energy that you can use for other more healthy things to do in your life and accomplish more in your life. And how do you do your shadow work? Well, it's actually kind of easy. The first step is you just need to cultivate self-awareness. You need to be very present in the moment. You need to be able to observe yourself, your thoughts, and your reactions to situations or people that trigger you. Now, when you observe and you're just observing, do it without judgment. That's very important. Don't judge yourself for having some negative feeling or thought. Simply observe that it's there. And it's really important you remember here that emotions are neither good nor bad. Being able to experience what we call or label negative emotions is really part of the divine plan. We experience emotions as an indicator of whether or not we are in alignment with our true selves or not. So if something feels negative to us or makes us feel bad, it's just our way of accessing that higher wisdom that is telling us, you're out of alignment, there's some work you got to do to put yourself back in alignment here. So when you feel those emotions, if there's something negative that comes up, just observe it without judgment, without criticizing yourself. And when you feel triggered by something, take some time to meditate on it. Ask your higher self, what is this emotion I'm feeling? Why am I feeling this way? And then be very patient with yourself and allow your higher self to give you the answers that will help you to work through it. And don't forget, while you're doing your shadow work, to be very kind and compassionate and loving toward anyone who may have created a situation for you in your life that created those emotions within you. Remember, they're also on their path. They're also trying their best to work through their issues. We're all on the same path working through our shadow side. So be kind and compassionate and don't put any blame on someone else. Simply know this is something I need to work through and show love or compassion to whatever situation or person may have caused that emotion within you. It's also important that if these emotions that come up in your life were something that were created by a situation that caused you guilt or shame, it's very important that you let go of that guilt and shame and simply see it as a lesson so that you can move forward through it. And of course, if facing your shadow side brings up anything that you feel you're unable to resolve or handle on your own, I'd always recommend you talk to a good therapist. They can also help you work through whatever those emotions are in a safe manner. I'm going to give you a few recommendations on some crystals that may help you as you are doing your shadow work. Onyx is a really good one. It's a stone that will help you if you feel the issues that you're feeling are not actually connected to this lifetime, but maybe connected to a past life. Onyx is very good at helping you identify what those issues are and bringing them up to be healed. Black obsidian is another good one. Black obsidian is a great stone to have or crystal to use if you are doing any kind of work that will help heal your ancestral line. Jet is a really good crystal to use if you realize you have something in there you need to work on, but you're having a difficult time accessing what that emotion is or what that situation is. Jet has a way of helping to dissolve the blocks and barriers that we have to certain emotions so that we can release them and accept them in ourselves in a more loving way. And black tourmaline is a really good crystal to use if these emotions or facing these emotions are making you feel sad, kind of depressed, self-hatred, anxiety, worried. It's a good crystal to work with to help you work through those issues and to also help you to ground those energies and soften them. Another thing I like to do is use rose quartz with any of the crystals that I mentioned here, because rose quartz, the stone of self-love, is a stone that will help to soften the energies that are coming up and help you more easily accept these traits in yourself that you don't want to see, so that we can do it in a more loving manner toward ourselves. And I will put a list of all the crystals I mentioned in the description box so you can check those out. Also, if you don't have the crystals, come on into Earth Spirit. We're in the New York, New Jersey area. If you're not in the area or you just don't want to go out to the stores yet, then you can order online. Their website is listed in the description box as well. You can order online and they will send those crystals out to you. I'll also list a few books that are really good for learning how to work with your shadow and do the shadow work down in the description box. If you want to learn more about it, check those books out. They're really, really helpful. And if you would like to have a phone reading with me, I will put Earth Spirit's number up on the screen for you and give them a call. They will schedule a reading with me. As always, I hope that was helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments on the information that I presented today, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below because I really do love hearing from you. And as always, remember, you are a spark of the divine. Share your light with the world. Blessings.